Morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Judge Morrow from courtroom 2, Officer Norris.
Good morning, Officer Norris. Where we're going to begin today?
We got position number 10, Mr. Armando Ford.
And this is going to be a negotiated plea, Judge.
It's going to be negotiated, Mr. Findlay?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Ford. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand to the best of your ability?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I promise, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. You can put your hand down, Mr. Ford. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Segura.
Good morning, Your Honor. Today's recommended plea will be 12 months to serve 36 days, credit for time served 18 days, balance suspended, and a stay away from the Atlanta Marriott Marquis Hotel located at 265 Peachtree Central Avenue, Atlanta. Thank you.
Mr. Findlay?
Yes, Judge. That is our understanding of the offer, of which we do agree, and additionally stipulate the factual basis, ID, and venue.
Thank you. Mr. Ford, it's my understanding in case 22 CR 004418C, you wish to plead guilty to theft of service. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. If I can state something on.
Okay, Mr.
Mr.
Ford,
Ford.
Yes,
you
Your
have the
Honor.
right
Yes,
to
Your
remain.
Honor.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say can be used against you. Mr. Findlay, do you need to speak with him?
Mr. Ford.
Yeah, we agree. We
so-
agree. We agree.
So, sir, just to update you, I did get the fine removed. So it's time served and there's going to be no probation. So, I would highly recommend to not say anything regarding your case. Okay.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Okay. Do you wish to plead guilty to theft of service, Mr. Ford?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, Your Honor.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
I'll accept your plea as negotiated, Mr. Ford. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Next, we have position number 7, Mr. David Craig.
Arraignment and a bond hearing, Mr. Finley.
That's correct, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Craig. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good morning, and yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Craig. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Craig. You have been charged in case 20 CR 005287E with one misdemeanor offense and the offense of disorderly conduct. Each of these charges carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and/or $1,000 fine. Do you waive formal reading of the accusation, Mr. Finley?
I do, Judge.
How do you plead to these charges, Mr. Craig? Guilty or not guilty?
I guilty.
We'll record your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge, and you'll be given notification of your next hearing date. Do we have his bond? Do you know what the bond is, Mr. Finley or Mr. Segura?
Yes,
Presently?
Judge. It's $3,000 cash, I believe.
And how is that broken down?
And 1,500 for each count.
Okay, let's see. Who do we have from pretrial this morning? Ms. Harrison, good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
Do you have his history for me?
Yes, one moment. I am showing a total of 42 cycles with history in New York, Tennessee, and Georgia. Last arrest was January of 2020. I'm sorry, March of 2022, and that was a criminal trespass. No disposition listed in that arrest. A 2012 battery, family violence conviction, misdemeanor in Fulton County. Disorderly conduct in 2012, misdemeanor conviction. A battery in 2011, no disposition listed. And the rest of his history in Georgia is outside the 10-year period, Judge. Nothing further.
I have that he has an open aggravated assault.
One moment. That case number is 20 SC 174983.
All right. Mr. Segura, can you give me the facts, please?
This occurred on January the 17th, 2020, in which police were dispatched to the Hotel Indigo located at 230 Peachtree Street, Northwest Atlanta, in which they talked to a witness who saw the defendant exposing himself to several guests while standing on hotel property. Once the defendant was approached, he was facing towards the street with a zipper to his pants undone. At that point, he had trouble standing independently because he was leaning on a pole. Alongside, he also was displaying slurred speech, bloodshot eyes, and was uncontrollably yelling and cursing at police. At that point, he was arrested. And for state's perspective, we want to retain that cash bond because we have concerns that he is a flight risk. This defendant originally had a jury trial for this case on April the 25th of 2022, in which he FTA'd on. And not only that, but less than a month prior to that, on March the 28th, 2022, he committed an act of criminal trespass. So we have concerns about him committing such an act while he is on a bond and not even showing up for his trial when he shows up. Alongside for the open aggravated assault case, which Peachtree noted, his trial for that case is actually in 6 days on August the 1st. So because of these facts, we would like to retain the cash bond amount. Thank you.
Who gave him the cash bond, Mr. Segura?
I could check quickly.
So he missed the court date and then someone gave him a cash bond. Is that right?
Yes, it's
All right. And
he originally had an FTA on Judge Morrison's on April the 25th, but then the next event just shows us that state of purpose. And he also has a bond forfeiture on September the 7th.
all right. Thank you, Mr. Segura. Mr. Finley?
Yes, Judge. So it sounds like he's still being held on the aggravated assault as well. But this is just a $3,000 cash bond right now, which hopefully at some point, once the aggravated assault is taken care of, this can be lowered somewhat. So this won't be holding him in as well. 3,000 cash. He just has no chance of paying that. Leading up to this, he was homeless, but he does have 2 kids. I am going to have a social worker meet with him to help him with stable housing. Because leading up to this, there was a return to sender. So I don't think he had a good mailing address, which he did give me a good mailing address now. So I'm going to ask for a signature bond, Judge, but if not inclined, then a $1,000 surety bond.
Okay. And you know the way I feel about these, Mr. Finley, that if I had set the bond, then I'm happy to revisit it. If somebody else had set the bond, the division judge in particular, then I'll have you go back to Judge Morrison if you want that bond lower, okay?
Understood.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Craig. Who do we have next?
Hey, can I have a copy of my charges and stuff? I don't have it.
I'll get that to you, Mr. Craig.
Your Honor, I also say that
Mr. Craig, Mr.
Yeah.
Craig, I'd highly recommend you.
Yeah, I've been in jail, more than, 7 days, and I have, my failure to appear, I had no idea about. I've been going to court every, month or whatever and stuff like that.
Okay, hold on, Mr.
Mr.
Craig.
Craig.
Mr. Craig, I'm going to give you the opportunity to address your bond with another judge, okay? So you can make that argument to the judge who set that bond for you, okay? So you'll be able to get with Mr. Findling and he'll be able to present whatever evidence you have, okay? Who do we have next, courtroom 2?
12 and 13, 6 South.
When is my next court date? Can you tell?
I don't know when your next court day is, sir. And these are negotiated pleas.
That's correct, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Jackson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, good morning. How you doing? Yes, I do, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jackson. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Segura?
And the state's recommended plea for positions 12 and 13 on 12 months to serve 32 days, credit for time served 16 days, the balance suspended, and a stay away from Dollar General located at 592 Main Street, Palmetto, as well as a stay away from Bottled Chevron located at 9165 Highway 29, Palmetto. Thank you.
Mr. Finley?
And that is our understanding of the offer, Judge, which we do agree and stipulate the ID, factual basis, and venue.
Mr. Jackson, it's my understanding that in case 19 CR 008190Y, you wish to plead guilty to theft by taking, and in case 19 CR 008191Y, you wish to plead guilty to theft by shoplifting. Is that correct? You're on mute, sound. Is that correct, Mr. Jackson?
Oh, yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir, I am.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the pleas as negotiated, Mr. Jackson. Good luck to you, sir.
All right, thanks, sir.
Next, we have position number 15 in courtroom 2. Mr. Kendrick, position 15.
Also a negotiated plea.
Correct, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Kendrick. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Kendrick. Mr. Segura?
The state's recommended plea is 12 months to serve 20 days, credit for time served 10 days, balance probated, 40 hours of community service, and stay away from a Chevron gas station located at 4885 Washington Road, East Point. Thank you.
Mr. Finley?
Yes, Judge. And we would just ask that Mr. Kendrick did agree to do the 40 hours community service, but I would just ask that once he does complete that condition, that the balance of his probation could be suspended.
Okay. Mr. Kendrick, it's my understanding that in case 21 CR 003663A, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept your plea as negotiated, Mr. Kendrick. I'm going to waive the probation fees for you while you're on probation to help you get and stand on your feet. And as soon as you complete the 40 hours of community service, the probation will terminate, okay?
All right.
All right, so the quicker you get it done, the quicker you won't be on probation. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Kendrick.
Next, we got position number 20, Mr. Powers, Ryan Powers.
Good morning, Ms. Helen. How are you?
I'm doing good, Judge. How are you doing?
Good. This is a negotiated plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Powers. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Powers? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Ms. Mitchell.
Good morning, Your Honor. The state's recommendation in this case is 12 months to serve, 46 days, credit for time served 23 days, balance probated, no further contact with Ainde Woodley, spelled Ayinde, Woodley, common spelling, and Shayna, spelled Shayna, Hillary, spelled Hilaire. A stay away from the Rock Steady on 907 Marietta Street Northwest, Atlanta, 8-week anger management, 40 hours community service, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge, that is our understanding of the plea. We do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID. It is a probated sentence. We are asking for the probation fees to be waived. And if those conditions are when they're completed, if they can be non-reporting.
Any objection to non-reporting, Ms. Mitchell?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Powers, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 004300F, you wish to plead guilty to 2 counts of simple battery. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
Excuse me?
Has anyone forced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept your plea as negotiated, Mr. Powers. I am going to waive the probation fees for you while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet. And as soon as you complete the terms of their probation, it'll go to a non-reporting status, okay?
Okay.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Powers.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, we have position 21, Mr. Ray. Kufu Ray.
Your Honor, on this case, the state has an announcement. We are requesting a 1-week reset. We did revoke our offer, and we sent PD Helen an email yesterday based on new information provided by the victim, where she had a broken nose or a fractured nose as a result of this and had to get surgery. So we are asking for a 1-week reset, so that we can explain the circumstances and acquire the medical information we need.
Okay, Ms. Helen?
Your Honor, we received that email, and we understand the 1-week reset, and so we're gonna go ahead and accept the 1 week. I think that's August 2nd.
Okay. Let me go ahead and just arraign him now so that that will be done. And if that's okay with counsel.
Understood, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Ray. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You can put your hand down, Mr. Ray. You've been charged in case 21 CR 004615C with battery substantial physical harm. This charge carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and or $1,000 fine. Do you waive formal reading of the accusation, Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge.
How are you pleading today to that charge, Mr. Ray? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Okay. So, do you want to speak with him, Ms. Helen?
Yes, Your Honor. I was going to say if I can give a moment to call courtroom 2.
Okay, I think that would be sufficient given what's going on. So we'll have you do that during the course of the calendar today.
Your Honor, can we hold off on that? Most of the cases that we have here in courtroom 2 are Ms. Helen's.
Okay, yes, we can hold off on her speaking with him. Just when Mr. Finley does have another case, we'll have her call.
Okay. Next, we have position number 33, Mr. Joshua Wilson.
And this is a bond hearing, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Wilson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Wilson. You've been charged in case 15 CR 000711 with failure to signal a lane change, driving without a valid license, driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, speeding, failure to maintain lane, and driving while your license was suspended. Each of these charges carries with it a maximum sentence of 12 months in jail and to $1,000 fine. Do you waive formal reading of the accusations, Ms. Helen?
I do, Judge.
How do you plead, Mr. Wilson, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
We'll record your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge and you'll get notification of your next hearing date. Ms. Harrison, could you give me Mr. Wilson's history, please? We have his bond.
No, sir, that's 15. Year 15. No, sir.
Okay.
22 cycles, last arrest April of 2020 for a DUI. That was a misdemeanor conviction in Coweta County. A 2016 arrest for battery, family violence was no pros. A 2018 15 misdemeanor battery, family violence conviction, Gwinnett County. And a 2014 misdemeanor conviction, given false name and driving while license suspended conviction. A 2011 possession of marijuana less than an ounce in Cobb County. Nothing further to add, Judge.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Harrison. Ms. Mitchell, do you know what the current bond is?
Yes, Your Honor, it's a $7,100 cash bond that was set by Chief Judge Adeline. It was originally a $2,600 surety bond, but the defendant FTA'd 3 times on this case, once in 2015, then 2021 and 2022. The most recent being January 7th of this year. In his history, he has 8 FTAs.
Ms. Mitchell, that's fine.
Okay.
Ms. Helen, you know how I feel about these. Judge Edline set that bond because of missed court dates. So if you want that bond to be revisited, you'll have to go back to her, okay?
Understood, Judge.
All right.
Hey,
Good luck
Judge,
to you.
may I say-
Good luck to you, Mr. Wilson. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You'll have the opportunity to address this.
No, I wanted to actually change my plea to a guilty plea with the plea arrangement that they were gonna give me yesterday.
Let me call you, Mr. Wilson, okay?
I mean, well, I mean, if we could just, I'd rather just do that today with the.
Okay, Mr. Wilson, we'll give you that opportunity. I'll let you speak with Ms. Helen so that she can discuss that with you, and we'll be back with you before the end of the calendar, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, position 8.
And this is Mr. Finley's case.
Sorry, what was the last names?
Position 8, Mr. Donaldson.
Yes, that's mine.
Okay. I just want to make sure, Ms. Helen.
Yes, Judge, I was just about to call courtroom 2.
Okay, all right, great, thank you. And this is going to be a negotiated plea, correct, Mr. Finley? Yes. Negotiated plea, Mr. Finley?
Correct.
Sorry, I was finishing talking to one of my clients. Sorry.
You're fine, Mr. Finley. I just wanted to make sure this is a plea.
Yes, Mr. Donaldson, this is sorry. That's correct, Judge. This is a negotiated plea.
Good morning, Mr. Donaldson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? You're on mute, courtroom 2. Are we in courtroom 2 or 5 North?
I know.
Oh, okay. Do you agree to have your case heard by video, Mr. Donaldson?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Let's see, Mr. Segura.
The state's recommended plea is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, and balance suspended. Thank you.
Mr. Finley.
Yes, Judge, and that is our understanding of the offer, of which we do agree and stipulate to the factual basis, ID, and venue.
Mr. Donaldson, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004502G with 2 counts of giving false information to law enforcement. How do you plead to these charges? It's my understanding that you're going to plead guilty. Is that correct?
Sir.
You have to speak up for me, Mr. Donaldson.
Sir, guilty.
Okay, just let me, I still can't hear you. Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir, I'm not.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir, I am.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Donaldson. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, boss.
You're welcome. Who do we have next?
This is position 32, Mr. Williams.
Okay. All right. Is Ms. Helen off the phone with you all?
Well, he's still, she's on the phone.
Do we have anyone that's not her client?
What about position 11, Mr. Cassidy?
Okay.
Yeah. we can do that one.
Good morning, Mr. Francis. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
I did attack her.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Francis. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Francis. Mr. Segura?
The state's recommended plea is 12 months to serve 56 days, credit for time served 28 days, balance probated in ADET, and no further contact with the victim, Ms. M. Cash. Thank you.
And that is our understanding of the offered, Judge, of which we do agree. We would just ask that once Mr. Francis does complete the ADET, that his probation could end at that time. He actually does not live in Georgia. He actually lives in Florida. So for the very brief period, hopefully he's on probation, and we hope to get that transferred to where he's from.
Okay. Mr. Francis, it's my understanding in case 17 CR 000920Y, you wish to plead guilty to reckless conduct, possession of marijuana less than an ounce in public drunk. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
Sir.
Say it again for me.
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
I'm not sure what.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Sorry, after time served, I get out today.
Okay, I'm sorry. Somebody's talking in the background. They're gonna have to stop for just a moment.
She gonna have to hang up, because we trying to do four.
It's another person on the phone.
I understand, Mr. Francis.
I had to make sure I had to get in there money because I didn't want that to have to be on my family. But I got, he got his money.
So will it be time served today?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it will.
Out
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Is anybody forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll accept your plea as negotiated, Mr. Francis. I'm going to waive the probation fees for you while you're on probation, to help you get and stay on your feet. And when you complete the terms of the probation, it's going to terminate, okay?
All right.
Good luck to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Shall I be getting out of there?
Position 30, Mr. Washington.
Thank you. And this is not negotiated.
Correct, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Washington. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, good morning, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Washington? Do you swear affirm that testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. May I get the history, Ms. Harrison, please?
44 cycles with history in DC and Virginia. Last arrest March of this year for assault on a police officer and failure to obey a lawful order with DC military police in Washington, DC. No disposition listed in that arrest. One moment. Most of his arrests seems to be outside the 10-year period in the other states, Judge.
Okay, thank you, Ms.
Positions are
Harrison.
not listed.
Ms. Helen, you see, there is no extra jail time. What do you object to regarding?
When I spoke to Mr. Washington, he advised me, and after I spoke to him with the offer, he was not able to, and that's why I'm asking for the balance probated to be suspended. He's not able to afford reporting or reporting to probation. He's not able to afford the 6-week anger management, which I did inform him he would have to find and pay himself, or the 40 hours. Again, that has no fee, but he has no transportation. He let me know that he is transient and that those conditions he would not be able to perform. And so I wasn't able to negotiate him to do that because he already informed me he was not able to do that because of those reasons, again, financially and also transportation wise.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Helen. Ms. Mitchell, what are the facts?
Your Honor, in this case, the defendant was seen attempting to open car trunks at about 1 a.m. He matched a description of a reported burglary or possible burglary, which was less than a mile from the incident location. When officers confronted the defendant, he immediately became irate, started cursing, and stated to Officer Frediani, spelled Frediani, "I'll kill you," repeatedly in front of other officers. He also tried to spit on him. Your Honor, we are requesting that the balance be probated with the anger management and community service, since the defendant yelled out that he would kill the officers several times in front of other officers. In addition to that, the defendant does have a violent history, mostly out of Maryland with the 39 cycles. He has so starting with the conviction, simple assault, 2019, protective order violation and threats to injure a person, 2011, a battery in California, threatening phone calls in Virginia. But again, the rest is in Maryland. He also has 7 simple assault arrests. Few of them, the disposition is not listed. He also has an assault against law enforcement officer in 2022, the most recent one in Maryland, where the disposition is also not listed. In addition to that, he has 3 FTAs and 1 fugitive charge. So based on that, we do believe the anger management and community service is appropriate and reasonable in this situation, being that he does have propensity for violence. So we request that those conditions remain, Your Honor. Thank you.
And Judge, just on behalf of Mr. Washington, when I did speak to him, he is bipolar. He does take medication for that. There were lapses in his medication, and he told me that those were stemming from those different cases at those different time periods in Maryland, Judge. And so he's stating that he does not have any income, not even income to afford his medication, Judge, and that he's not able to afford the 6-week anger management courses or any transportation or possibility to get to 40 hours of community service.
Go ahead, Ms. Mitchell, I'm sorry.
Based on that information, we are empathetic to the defendant in his MH circumstances, but we do believe that may also make him a higher risk of reoffending, especially if he's not able to afford his medication, and that is what's causing him to be violent. We do have concerns and believe he should be, his balance should be probated, Your Honor. Thank you.
Have you had a social worker visit with Mr. Washington, Ms. Helen?
No, Judge, I do not believe that he is incompetent. However, he just stated that there's a lapse in medication. So no, I haven't had a social worker come down to see Mr. Washington.
Okay, I'm not so much concerned about that, but I mean, if he could be provided some services once he gets out as far as housing, I think that would be beneficial for him.
Yes, Your Honor, and I can request a social worker to come out and visit him for that.
Okay, all right. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Helen, I think that I prefer to have a social worker visit with him before I take a plea regarding this matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reschedule this for next Tuesday's SAP calendar. So I'll see him then. And once, if you can get him some type of placement, then I am willing to consider a time-served plea next week.
Understood, Judge.
And Your Honor, just for PD Helen information, my supervisor informed me that River Edge gives free medication so that he may obtain those when he does get out.
Understood.
Okay. So why don't we do that? I think that would be more beneficial for Mr. Washington than the options that I have at present. Okay, so I'll see you back next week, Mr. Washington.
Understood, Judge.
Come on, Robinson. Position 22, Robinson.
This is a negotiated plea, Ms. Helen,
Yes, Your Honor.
and he's going to plead to how many counts, Ms. Mitchell?
Your Honor, the burglary and the theft by deception were already dismissed, so it's just to the theft by receiving stolen property.
And one count?
Yes.
And that is our understanding, Judge.
Okay. Yes, one count of theft by receiving stolen property. Good morning, Mr. Robinson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, this is going to be time served, credit for 80 days, balance suspended, nothing further.
Okay, Ms. Helen?
That is our understanding, Judge. We do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Mr. Robinson, it's my understanding in case 14 CR 001855, you wish to plead guilty to theft by receiving stolen property. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Robinson. Good luck to you, sir.
God bless.
You also.
Position 32, Williams.
And that's a negotiated plea, Your Honor.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Williams. I'm Judge Eric. Good morning. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do.
Can you raise your right hand for me, sir?
Sir.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, this is time served plea, credit for 17 days, balance suspended, and to stay away from 123 Lucky Street, Atlanta. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. That is our understanding, and we do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Mr. Williams, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 004429J, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge and these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Williams. Good luck to you, sir.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Next, we have position 33, Wilson.
And Judge, this will be a negotiated plea.
Okay. Let's see, Mr. Wilson, you were previously put under oath. You are still under oath. Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, our recommendation is 12 months to serve, 30 days, credit for time served, 15 days, balance probated, ADT, DUI risk reduction, victim impact panel, $1,000 fine, 240-hour community service, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge, that is our understanding of the plea. We do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID. This is a probated sentence. We're just asking for the probation fees to be waived for Mr. Wilson.
Okay. Mr. Wilson, it's my understanding in case 15 CR 000711, you wish to plead guilty to failure to signal lane, change, or turn, driving without a valid license, driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, speeding, failure to maintain lane, and driving while your license was suspended. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, Your Honor.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Wilson. I'm going to waive the probation fees while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet. Good luck to you, sir.
Can I just ask, does that mean that, I heard 30 for 15. Does that mean today or?
As soon as you can get processed out, Mr. Wilson, so.
All right.
And there are other charges or other holds for Mr. Wilson. So once those holds clear, then yes, when the jail processes him out.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Position number 24, medical. We're completed here in courtroom 2, Judge. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'll see you this afternoon.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor, South Annex.
Good morning. So where are we gonna go? Where are we headed next?
Position number 24, medical.
24, okay.
And Judge, that's me, and I just have one update. Position 24 is negotiated. There is a mention of case 20CR006196J. That's going to be an arraignment only.
All right, so what's the plea to, Ms. Helen?
The battery family violence, case number 22CR004275J.
Jay, okay. All right, so that's gonna be a plea, and what case is going to be an arraignment?
Case number 20CR006196J.
And what's that charge?
A battery.
Battery, Judge.
Battery. So he's not going to accept the global offer?
No,
So
Your
it's
Honor.
Cases, okay. Okay, let me do the arraignment first, and then I'll do the plea. Good morning, Mr. Sims. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Sims. You've been charged in case 20CR006196J with battery. This charge carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and/or $1,000 fine. Do you waive formal reading of the accusation, Ms. Helen?
I do, Judge.
How do you plead to this charge, Mr. Sims, guilty or not guilty?
Is this the charge from 2022?
No, this is a charge from, I believe, 2020.
Oh, yes, sir. I plead not guilty to that.
Okay. We'll record your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge, and you'll get notification of your next hearing date on that
Yes, Your Honor.
case.
Yes.
Okay. And let's see, in case 22CR004275J, Ms. Mitchell, would you go ahead and put the offer on the record?
Yes, and just, Your Honor, just for the court's information, both these incidents did involve the same victim and same incident location, and the global offer was based on both of that. But since we're just doing it for this one case, it's going to be 12 months to serve 50 days, credit for time served 25 days, since that's the time that he served on this one case. Balance probated. No further contact with Mr. Robert Brown. A stay away from 2280 Campbellton Road, Atlanta. FVIP, 60 hours community service, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Nothing further, Your Honor.
And yes, Your Honor, that is our understanding of the plea. We do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID. This is a probated sentence. We are asking for those probation fees to be waived, at least for the first 6 months.
All right, and I guess, not to question you, Ms. Helen, but, and I'm sure that you've gone through it with him. I guess he knows the ramifications if he's convicted on this second battery, as opposed to him disposing of it all at one time with a sentence that would be the same for the two. If he goes to trial on this and he gets something different, then there will certainly be an enhanced sentence. And I take it that he understands that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, given that, Mr. Sims, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty in case 22 CR 004275J, the battery family violence. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
No, Your Honor.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury and that by pleading guilty to this charge, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Mr. Sims, I'm going to waive the fees for you while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet. But I'm going to require that you be on probation for the entire 12 months.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sims.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Have a good day, sir.
Position 1 or no?
And this is a negotiated plea, Mr. Finley.
That's correct, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Beasley. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down, Mr. Beasley. Thank you. Mr. Segura?
The state's recommended plea is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance probated, 6 weeks anger management, and anti-theft course. A stairway for Macy's located at 3393 Peachtree Road, Northeast Atlanta, and no further contact with Ina Stiles, Ina spelled I-N-A, Stiles common spelling, and Tarika Davis, Tarika spelled T-E-R-R-I-C-A, Davis common spelling. Thank you.
Mr. Finley?
Judge, we would just ask that once Mr. Beasley does complete the conditions of the anger management and the theft course, that the balance of his probation could be terminated, but if not inclined, then non-reporting.
I'm willing to non-reporting, Mr. Finley. Is that
That
okay?
works.
Is
That
all right?
works, Judge. If we could also do the probation fees waived. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
Okay. Non-reporting, fine with you, Mr. Segura?
It's fine.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Beasley, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 004501Y, you just plead guilty to theft by shoplifting and 2 counts of simple battery. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept your plea as negotiated, Mr. Beasley. I'm going to waive the probation fees for you while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet. And when you complete the terms, it'll go to a non-reporting status, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. Have a good day,
Thank
sir.
you, Mr. Jack.
Yes, sir.
23. Position 23.
Okay.
Somebody.
Good morning, Mr. Sharkey. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Sharkey. You've been charged in case 21 CR 006359C with simple battery and simple assault. Each of these charges carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and or $1,000 fine. Do you waive formal reading of the accusation, Ms. Helen?
I do.
How do you plead to these charges, Mr. Sharkey? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
We will record your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge and you'll be given notification of your next hearing date. What are the present bonds?
As to count one is $2,500 surety and count two is $2,500 signature bond. It was originally set by the DA's office as $5,000 surety, and that was reduced by Your Honor to $2,500 surety as to each count, and then it was further reduced by Judge Law. Count two was then turned to a signature bond, but the surety bond remained for the simple battery.
Okay. Ms. Harrison, do you have the history? Do we have those bonds? No.
One moment. Last arrest was, I'm showing 15 cycles in Georgia, but he has history in Pennsylvania, Texas, and Virginia and Ohio. His last arrest in Georgia was 2017, theft by shoplifting into cab. That was a misdemeanor conviction. A 2017 disorderly conduct conviction. 2011 probation violation, a 2010 entering auto. That was a felony conviction in DeKalb County. Nothing further to add.
Okay. Ms. Mitchell, and would you also tell me how he, do you know who gave him the first bond?
I can pull it up. There was
I'm just trying to figure out how this is. If somebody gave him a bond, then I lowered the bond, then the bond was lowered again. Did he come back to a SAP calendar or?
Well, so originally this was a felony case for the theft, which was then dismissed. I don't recall the reason. I can find out. And so then it was brought back down. It was brought down to state court, but it started out in felony. I mean, in the DA's office. And then a little bit about the facts. He ended up punching a Marshall. So a victim who was shopping in Marshall's, he approached him in the store while he was shopping and threatened him. He also punched him in the face and stated that he was going to kill him while putting his hand over a knife that was visibly holstered on his pants. To be honest, this should have been a felony as well for that allegation right there. But so that is the facts of the case. The theft was search incident to arrest was found with someone else's driver's license and credit card. So that was that. And then Your Honor, I'm sorry, you asked if, who said the first one? Gotcha. Sure.
And has he been in jail for 274 days on just these two charges?
Double check. One moment, Your Honor, my apologies. My Odyssey is moving slow.
Your Honor, I had 274 days and that he was booked October 26th of last year. So it's about the same time as these charges, Judge. So I do have days of confinement as 274.
Yes.
Okay, so he has been in custody for 274 days on these two charges alone, with no other charges that's holding him in.
Correct. We did offer a time served plea, but I guess they didn't want to take it. So we are here with the bond hearing. But in this case, the state will be asking that the bond remain the same because at this point it's been in front of 3 judges and they've all agreed that the first count should be a surety. So we're going to request that that remain the same if he doesn't want to take the plea.
Okay. Well, given that he's been in custody for 274 days on just these 2 charges, I'm going to give him a signature bond on both of the charges, Ms. Helen. So 250 SOB through the jail for both charges. He's to not have any further contact with Ricardo Diaz, and he's not to go back to 2625 Piedmont Road, and he's not to have any drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Understood, Judge. Mr. Sharkey, did you understand that? I saw that for North. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, so you'll need to.
Your Honor, I don't know if it's gonna make a difference in your ruling. I just wanted to point to your attention that he did have a court date in front of Judge Dixon in 2 days. So obviously, this is just only going to sit his case back even further. But
Okay, so he has
on 7/28, a non-jail jury calendar. And I'm sorry, a jail jury calendar in front of Judge Dixon.
Okay. And you will be representing him at that time, Ms. Helen?
I do not believe so. I actually can check into that July 28th, but if it's not the SAP calendar, I do not believe so, Your Honor.
Right. Good morning, Judge. Ms. Helen wouldn't be representing him. And I will note, Judge, that is a bench trial calendar. He's already indicated not guilty. So we would be asking for a jury trial anyway. So we would ask that he be released. And of course, he can return at a later time to a jury trial calendar.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Howard. Good
Yeah.
to see you. All right,
You as
so,
well.
all right, so if you'll prepare that,
Yes, Your Honor.
thank you, Ms. Helen. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Sharkey.
Thank you. So I get released?
You've gotten a signature line, sir.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
make
you.
sure that you show up for any other hearings that you have. Otherwise, you're gonna be right back where you are. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you, Miss Helen.
All right, position 29.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is gonna be a non-negotiated plea, Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Walker. I'm Judge Eric Mara. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Walker.
And
Ms.
I apologize, Judge. You did give me the opportunity there. His days of confinement are 197. I think I just looked at the offer and didn't assume that that was the base. His days of confinement are 197. So the 2-for-1 sheriff credit, this would be a negotiated plea. Correct.
Okay. So it's a time served plea.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, all right. Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, this is time served 197 days. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge, that's our understanding of that plea. We stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Mr. Walker, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 004495D, you wish to plead guilty to simple battery. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
None.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
None. Nobody.
I will accept your negotiated plea, Mr. Walker. Good luck to you, sir.
Position 34.
Arraignment and bond hearing, Ms. Helen.
Yes, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Wyatt. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mr. Wyatt?
Yes.
We're doing this by video. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Wyatt. You've been charged in case 22 CR 003764H with battery family violence. This charge carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and/or $1,000 fine. Do you waive formal reading of the accusation, Ms. Helen?
I do, Your Honor.
How do you plead to this charge, Mr. Wyatt? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
We will record your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge, and you'll get notification of your next hearing date. Do we have his bond?
Your Honor, it's a $5,000 signature bond. He's actually not held on this. He's held on a 30,000 surety for an open felony case.
Okay. Ms. Helen, it seems like he has bigger fish to fry at the present time. If you want, if he makes bond on that other, you're certainly welcome to bring him back to consider this, okay?
Understood, Judge. Mr. Wyatt, do you understand what just happened?
No.
So this is not holding you, so the bond hearing won't be happening today.
Okay. So what we talked about, so just forget about it.
Let me give you a call. It's not forget about it. Let me give you a call at 4 North.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Can I get the number at 4 North if they could send it in the chat or?
You want to have to do a breakout at the end of the other two positions.
Understood.
Let's take position 31.
It's negotiated plea, Ms. Helen.
Yes, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. White. I'm Judge, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. White. Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, this is time served plea. Credit for 15 days, balance suspended, and stay away from MARTA in accordance with any active suspensions. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge, that is our understanding of the plea. We do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Mr. White, it's my understanding in case 22 CR 004509C, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, I was.
Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
Yes, sir.
I will accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. White. Good luck to you.
All right, in this case, it's add-on 3 and also position 35.
And those both are negotiated, please, Your Honor.
One.
Okay, so I'm sorry, who do we have?
This is Smiley, add-on number 3, position 35.
Okay, so
Mr. Smiley is add-on 3, but position 35 is somebody different, I think.
right.
25 and 3.
Is it 20? Okay, yes. it
Okay.
is. Thank you, Mr. Walker. I couldn't.
I was
couldn't
lost
figure
too. Okay, you want to start with position 25?
Yes. Oh, let me start with Mr. Smiley first up.
All right.
Good morning, Mr. Smiley. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Smiley? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hands down. Thank you, Mr. Smiley. Mr. Walker.
So the state's recommendation is a time server offer of 202 days, balance suspended. I do see that it says stay away from all MARTA. I will amend that to just say comply with any current MARTA suspensions. So when the defendant is released, he will have to contact MARTA to see if he's able to ride or not. But other than that, it's time served.
Okay. And what about add-on 3?
For add-on position 3, the state's recommendation is 12 months to serve 6 days, credit for time served 3 days, a $600 fine, a risk reduction course, alcohol drug evaluation with any necessary treatment, 240 hours community service, and a victim impact panel.
All right, Ms. Helen?
And yes, Judge, that is our understanding first of the position 25's plea. And then that is also our understanding of add-on position 3's plea. And since position 3 is a probated sentence, we are asking for those probation fees to be waived.
Okay. Mr. Smiley, in case 20 CR 0000914D, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to public drunk and 2 counts of criminal trespass. And in case 21 CR 007127D, you wish to plead guilty to driving under the influence of alcohol less safe and possession of an open alcohol container.
Can I say something like that? Driving on the influence, Your Honor.
Hold on.
No, Mr. Smiley, don't say anything about the facts of the case, okay? It'll be held against you.
All right, so I need for you just to answer yes or no, Mr. Smiley. If you would like to speak with Ms. Helen, I'm happy to give you that opportunity. But anything you say can be used against you, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so I guess my last question was, do you wish to plead guilty to these charges?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Smiley. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges and not by pleading. Hold on, let me get the question out, Mr. Smiley. You have the right to a trial by jury on these charges and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Smiley.
Yes, sir.
Judge, I apologize, Judge. On position 25, this is that situation that I bring up every now and then. It appears on that case with the offense date of 1/25/20, he only served 7 days on that case. The 195 days that he's currently in is a different offense, which means if the intent is to be time served, that sentence will need to be changed to reflect 7 days for that, or else the jail is gonna hold him for the additional time because he's only served 7 days on that particular case under a previous booking number. Are you fine with that, Mr. Walker?
We can do 14 days credit for time served 7.
Okay, all right. So that'll solve that issue, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Howard.
Mr. Howard.
Yes. Mhm, no problem.
Okay, so for case 20 CR 0000914D, the sentence will be 12 months to serve 14 days, credit for time served 7 days, balance suspended, and stay away or abide by any current MARTA stayaways. Is that correct? And,
Yes, Your Honor.
and the sentence for 21 CR 0071270 will be 12 months to serve 6 days, credit for time served 3 days, $600 fine, risk reduction, ADET, 240 hours of community service, and victim impact. I am going to waive the fees for you, Mr. Smiley, while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Smiley.
Thank you, sir.
Can we get a breakout session for North and Helen for White?
Okay, so if we can put Miss Helen of Ford North into a breakout, and maybe we can, I guess, go to the South Annex if Mr. Finley has any cases there.
I do have a 2 at South Annex.
Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Who do we have?
Position number 9.
Okay. What's the
And
announcement?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
they did the announcement.
Yeah, this will be a negotiated plea, Judge.
Okay. Let's see, is it pronounced Dubalette?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Ms. Dubalette. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Segura?
The state's recommended plea is 12 months to serve 20 days, credit for time served 10 days, balance probated, 6 weeks anger management, and no further contact with Takeria Walkmore. Takeria spelled Tykeria, Walkmore, common spelling, and Shamia Witch. Shamia spelled Shamiyah, Witch spelled Wyche. Thank you.
Mr. Finley?
Yes, Judge, that is our understanding of the offer, of which we do agree. And would just ask that once she does complete the anger management, that the balance of her probation can be terminated, but if not inclined, then non-reporting, Judge.
Any objection to non-reporting, Mr. Segura?
No objection.
Mr. Villette, it's my understanding in case 21 CR 005266D, you wish to plead guilty to simple battery, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'm going to accept the plea as negotiated. I am going to waive the probation fees for you while you're on probation, and as soon as you complete the terms of the probation, it'll go to a non-reporting status, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck.
May I ask how long will I be on probation?
For 12 months.
Okay.
But as soon as, but you don't have to report after you complete the 6 weeks of anger management, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next, we have position number 5.
And what's the announcement, Mr. Finley?
Yes, Judge. This is going to be a jail jury bond hearing.
And let's see, is it pronounced Catazone?
Catazone.
Catazone. Good morning, Ms. Catazone.
Good
I'm
morning.
Good morning. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I agree, Your Honor.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do swear.
Yeah, you can put your hand down. Thank you. You've been charged in case 19 CR 009573F with disorderly conduct, simple battery, and simple assault. Each of these charges carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and/or $1,000 fine. Do you waive formal reading of the accusation, Mr. Finley?
I do, Judge.
How do you plead to these charges, ma'am? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
We will record your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge and you'll get notification of your next hearing date. What are the current bonds? Did she, what's going on with the bond since this is the 2019 case?
Yes, Judge. So the bond is a $3,000 cash bond, $1,000 on each. She did have an FTA, Judge. She originally had a wrong address. I believe she had a Marietta address, and that address has since been updated when she's been in jail to a good address. There was a return to sender as well. So I think she unequivocally would have been at court if she would have received notice, Judge. And as soon as she got to, was checked into jail, she did update that address and it is reflected on Odyssey. So I'm just asking for the cash bond be converted to a surety bond, Judge.
What was the original bond?
Hold up.
3,000 cash only.
Okay. We don't have that one in either.
Not seeing it in events. Yeah, in events, I'm not seeing what the original.
Mr. Segura, what's your position?
We would like to keep the cash bonds. She does have FPAs, both under Judge Richardson on March the 2nd, 2021, where she failed to appeal at the plea and arraignment, and alongside an FTA for an arraignment on April the 26th of 2022. Because of these FTAs, we are concerned that she is a fact risk will not show up. And
Judge, if I may, so I do recognize the FTAs, but the difference between then and now is that she has a good address now. So I think it's safe to say if she would have gotten notice, she would have been there. So that's a big difference between then and now. That address is her mom's address. So she'll be living with her mom and her two daughters. So, she's going to be in a stable home. She's going to be getting her mail. And I do think she will be at court, Judge. And that address is already reflected in Odyssey. So would ask for that surety bond, Judge.
Okay, I'm going to convert the cash bond to a signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Warner Freeman and Maxwell Williams. Stay away from the 437 Memorial Drive address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. If you miss court, again, ma'am, the bonds won't be lowered, okay?
I understand. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
All right. 3,000.
Could you repeat what the breakdown was one more time, please?
1,000 for each.
It's a signature.
SOB through the jail. Okay.
That'll be all without annex, Your Honor. May we be excused?
Yes, I'll see you this afternoon, possibly. All right, so who do we have at 4 South?
4 South.
That's a negotiated plea, Your Honor.
All right, this is Mr. Youngs, is that correct? Can you hear me, Mr. Youngs?
Yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Youngs. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Can you hear me, Mr. Youngs? Can you hear me? Mr. Youngs, can you hear me?
Oh, hello.
Hello. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
What?
We're doing this by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Oh. Okay.
Oh, okay. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yeah, I'm just trying to I can't hear you that well.
I don't think he can hear you, Judge.
Okay. 4 South.
Judge, let me log off and log back on, see if that helps.
All
Stand
right.
by. Okay, Judge.
Okay. Can you hear me now, Mr. Youngs?
Yeah.
Okay. We're conducting this by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Who's presenting for the state?
Miss Katrina.
Hello?
Yes, Ms. Mitchell.
Sorry, that will be me.
Okay.
And this is 35. Your Honor, this is a time served plea, credit for 26 days, balance suspended, and a stay away from Inman Quarter Apartments on 299 North Highland, Atlanta. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor, that is our understanding. We do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Mr. Youngs, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that right?
Yeah. No,
Yes.
I'm just trying.
Okay.
No. Huh?
Mr.
Okay.
Youngs, when I came down to the jail, we talked about that you were willing to stay from the Inman Apartments and that you were willing to accept this criminal trespass guilty plea here.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass, is that right?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, I'm satisfied.
You understand you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury? You don't want a jury. You don't want a jury trial, do you?
I do with.
Okay, so if you plead guilty, you're giving up the right to have a jury trial. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Has anybody forced you or coerced you to plead guilty to this charge?
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Youngs. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wait, will I get time served?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm leaving. I'm gonna leave.
Unless you have something else holding you, as soon as you can get processed out, you'll be getting out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Position number 2, Broughton.
Good morning, Mr. Broughton. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Segura?
The negotiated plea is 12 months to serve, 365 days, credit for time served, 199 days. Thank you.
Mr. Finley?
That is our understanding of the offer, Judge, of which we do agree and stipulate with the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Mr. Broughton, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004581E to willful obstruction of the law enforcement officer and criminal trespass and damage to property. And it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to those charges. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yeah.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yeah.
Has anybody forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Barton. Good luck to you, sir.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Position 28, Thomas.
It's also a negotiated plea, Ms. Helen.
Yes, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Thomas. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Sir.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, this is time served. Plea, credit for 32 days, balance suspended. Nothing further.
Yes, Judge, that is our understanding of that plea. We do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Okay, Mr. Thomas, you've been charged in case 21 CR 004665H with possession and use of drug-related objects and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. It's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to those charges. Is that correct?
Sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty? I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Thomas. Good luck to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good day. Let's see. Do we still have someone on from the jail? I have that we still have position 14 and position 18.
And good morning, Judge. Attorney Johnny Waller here on position 18. We were
Good morning.
actually
Position 18.
Position 18 is Mr.
McCory.
Brandon McCory.
Oh, that's so back on 2000.
Oh, he's quarantined, Your Honor. That's the only reason we didn't bring him over. I don't know if his attorney spoke to him. Did you speak to him, Mr. Waller?
No, I haven't spoken to him.
All right. We also have position 14.
And that's going to be a reset, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Waller, what do you want to do with Mr. McCory?
I do need a chance, if I can, Judge, to pre-try it with the solicitor, but we were wanting to get him the bench warrant lifted on him. This is a traffic case. I don't think he has very much of a history. So it's not serious charges. He FTA'd and Judge Morrison some time ago. It's a 2018 case. I don't believe he has extensive history of FTAs. And so given that he is quarantined, that might limit my ability to talk to him and get it resolved this morning. So if the court is willing, we ask that the bench warrant be lifted.
Mr. Segura, does he have anything else that's holding him?
Let's see. On this case, he FTA'd twice back on May the 14th, 2018, and he also did FTA'd on a final plea on May the 23rd, 2022. Alongside, it shows on his record, he does have 3 total cycles, but he did FTA on a suspension on April the 11th of 2022.
And Judge, I believe he's been incarcerated for some time for this case, like at least a week or more. So he has done some time as well, if the court will take that into consideration.
You have not had the opportunity to speak with him. Is that what you're telling me, Mr. Waller?
I have not, Judge.
Okay, if I do, you're gonna have to make sure that you impress upon him that we're gonna need a good address. I hate to keep him in custody over some traffic charges, but if he doesn't show up, then we don't have any other alternative. So if you will make sure that the court gets his correct address, and that, if when he comes before the court again, that he does not miss that court date. So let's see, he's got a no insurance, unregistered vehicle, and failure to have license on person, and the following 2 close. I've got those 4 charges. Does that go along with your record, Mr. Waller?
It does, Judge. It was you said no insurance, no license on person, and
unregistered vehicle, and following too closely.
In
Yes.
this case, he actually struck someone when he was driving.
Say it again, Mr. Segura.
In this case, he struck another vehicle when he was driving.
Right, so that would be the following 2 close. So, Mr. Waller, if you will, it'll be a $250 SOB through the jail on each count. Because this is a time served plea. I hate to keep him in custody because he's quarantined. So a 250 SOB through the jail, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So if you can get that to the court, we'd appreciate it. Thank you, courtroom 2. I think that's all the people that we have.
So Judge, do I need to submit your
an
order?
updated address?
I've asked for him to have an updated address, Mr. Walker. So Mr. Walker assures me that he will get his client's address updated to the court. Okay.
I will, Judge. So were you needing me to give you an order, or did you already fill one out?
Yes. No. We normally require that counsel fill those out. So if you can get that to us, I will get that signed.
Okay. Where do I send it, Judge?
Okay. You need to send it to Melissa Grace.
Do you have an email for her, or?
It's
I see
Melissa.
it. She put it in there.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. So I think that concludes We did have a probation revocation.
Yes. So I reached out to Officer Middleton this morning, and I have not gotten a petition sent to me, and I have not.
Okay, so this will have to be rescheduled.
That's, yeah, she did ask if it could be reset, and I just, our last communication, I said if you could get someone else to send it to me, but I never
Okay,
got it.
so is he in custody? No? Yes?
I believe she's in custody.
It's Rusty Fernandez? That's a
Oh,
female?
sorry. Yeah, wrong. I was looking at the wrong one. Yes, he is.
So you probably want to get this back on a calendar as soon as possible, right? So Thursday?
Yeah, if we could do Thursday. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. And Ms. Grace, what we, yeah, 4 is a Cobb County loan out, is my understanding. When do you want to reset position 4 for Mr. Finley, that's Cobb County loan out?
If we could do that, let's do that 1 week.
Okay, so we'll reset that until, what is that, August 2nd? Which other ones?
And then number 14, if we could do on that one 2 weeks, she is being held on something else as well. So I guess what would that be, the 9th?
Yes, August 9th for position 14. Did you have another one?
And position 19.
19, I have it was reset until 8/2. Okay.
We're on position 2. That was a medical reset. I just need 1 week to be able to see. I can go see him at the jail.
What position is that, Ms. Helen?
Position 19, medical reset to August 2nd.
Okay, right, okay,
And the add-ons was reset to, and I have those.
okay. So whenever you're ready. Okay.
What's the date is? 29th for that probation violation.
Right. What? 28.
28. Position number 1 was a plea. Position number 2 was a plea. Position number 3, reset 8/9 SAP. Position 4, reset 8/2 SAP. Position 5 was arraigned jail jury. Position number 6, reset 8/9 SAP. Position 7, reset jail jury. Position 8 was a plea. Position 9 was a plea. Position 10 was a plea. Position 11 and 12 were pleas. Position 13 was a plea. Position 14, reset 8/9 SAP. Position 15 was a plea. Position 16, reset 8/18 SAP. Position 17, reset further notice. Position 18, reset further notice with a bond, waiting a bond order. Position 19, reset 8/2 SAP. Position 20 was a plea. Position 21, reset 8/2 SAP. Position 22 was a plea. Position 23, reset jail jury. Position 24 was a plea. Position 25 was a plea. Position 26, reset 8/30 competency calendar, along with position 27, 8/30 competency calendar. Position 28 was a plea. Position 29 was a plea. Position 30, reset 8/2 SAP. Position 31 and 32 were pleas. Position 33 was a plea. Position 34, reset jail jury. Position 35 was a plea. On the add-on calendar, position 1 and 2 reset 8, 9 SAP, and position 3 was a plea. The probation revocation is going to be reset 7/28/22.
Okay, on position 5, I believe that I get for the bond reduction in that.
There's an amended bond, yes, sir.
Okay, so that's not gonna be jail jury, right?
No.
Birth maintenance, okay. And I also have, said,
And we send it in.
okay, all right. I also have an inquiry calendar with the Charmaine West. Is there anyone who represents?
So, yeah, go
Judge,
ahead.
Attorney Emily Bronstein from our office is going to be on that case. I'll reach out to her. I think she thought it wasn't going to start till 11, but I can tell her we're ready now. And I'm sure she'll be able to jump on. Hopefully the client is available as well.
Okay, so that's going to be, what's going on with that calendar, Mr. Howard?
Judge, I get the sense maybe is it a DV bench warrant calendar maybe? That's the impression I got. Maybe the state can tell me for sure.
Okay.
That was my understanding as well.
I'm sorry, Mr. Walker, what's your understanding?
A DV bench warrant calendar.
Oh, okay.
I just thought they called it by a different name for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I never have an inquiry calendar.
Right.
Okay, so that's what that is. And was that, so if you can get whomever needs to be here, I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, thank you. So and if everyone can go ahead and start getting their paperwork in to Ms. Grace, that would be helpful. And I guess we will be in recess. Those that need to leave, that don't have any further business before the court, that's fine. If you want to stay for the inquiry calendar, that's fine also.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Would probation be needed for the DB, the inquiry calendar, the inquiry calendar?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
So have a good day. Thank you.
All right, you too. Thank you.
So we'll be in recess until someone comes on the line for Charmaine West.
Judges Bronstein and Klein are on the call whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Howard.
Yes, Your Honor. My client, Ms. West, and I just checked with the complaining witness in this case, Ms. Killing. She said she was on the call as well.
Okay, so let's see, where are we with this, Ms. Mitchell?
So Your Honor, there's a current bond of $1,500 surety. The defendant, she FTA'd on this case twice for plea and arraignment, both times. Once June 7th of 2021 and then May 25th of this year. The defendant, so just a little bit of facts about this case. The defendant battered her living girlfriend at the time, Miss Antoinisha Killings, spelled Atoinesha, Killings, common spelling, by striking her several times, leaving her with a swollen right eye, busted lip, scratch on the right side of her face, and scratches to her right arm, to the point where Miss Killings was so scared she had to get a knife in self-defense to get the defendant to stop. The defendant, as far as her history goes, she is a multi-state offender. She has history in Georgia and Michigan, and she's a convicted felon. She was convicted of carrying a concealed weapon and firearm on May 19th of this year in Michigan. And on top of that, Your Honor, the defendant does have an open disorderly conduct case that was sent to diversion, but that didn't work out because she was a no-show. So she was not able to complete the program. And then she picked up this case 5 months later. So as far as the bench warrant goes, the state is going to request that the bench warrant remain. Thank you.
So tell, what was the original bond, Ms. Mitchell?
It says $1,500 surety.
Okay. And who did she FTA in front of?
One moment, that would be.
It's Judge Richardson.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Bronstein?
Yes, Your Honor. I've spoken with both Ms. West and Ms. Killings in this case. They are both on this call. I asked Ms. West what happened about not getting notice. She informed me that she ended up moving and she back to Michigan. Didn't intend to stay there for long, but she got COVID and kind of got stuck there. It just kind of happened. She didn't know about the warrant. She found out at a traffic stop. And and Ms. West just messaged me. She said that she believes that the court entered the wrong address. But additionally, she found out about the warrant through a traffic stop. The officer made her aware of it. And as soon as she found out, she applied to my office and wanted to come to court to try to handle it. Additionally, she just sent me the message saying that she did call the clerk's office and said that it was confirmed that the court entered in the incorrect address for her. Additionally, I spoke with Ms. Killings and she stated to me that she did want the bench warrant lifted and she did not want to see Ms. West go to jail. And she is here if the court would like to hear from her.
Do we have her proper address at the present time, Ms. Bronstein?
I updated her address with the clerk's office.
Okay, and you verified that the notice went to the wrong address or to the address that was not originally her address?
She told me that it went to the wrong address. I just got in the case, so I just updated the address that she currently has. But as far as she said, the address went to the incorrect address that she had at the time, and she confirmed it with the clerk's office, or I'm sorry, she said the police confirmed it with the clerk's office. But I just got the case, like I said, as soon as she found out about this warrant from law enforcement, she made contact with my office, gave me her correct address, and I updated with the court as soon as I entered.
All right, Ms. West, it's no matter when you move or whatever, it's up to you to make sure that the court has your correct address and that you yourself updated with them. Okay, so did you have something?
Your Honor, before you make a ruling, I'm sorry to interject, but Ms. West knows that she has to update her address. And the reason I know that is because she's had a previous.
Hold on, Ms. West. I'll give you.
She's had a previous bench warrant on this same case set aside. We've been down this path before. She bench warranted. She did an address change. That bench warrant was set aside. And here we are yet again with a second FTA. And again, we have another open disorderly conduct where we try to offer diversion. Couldn't do that because we couldn't contact Ms. West. So I'm not sure how many times we're going to give defendants who are out on bond on battery family violence's signature bonds. But to be clear, the court has already set aside her last bench warrant. And here we are yet again after she's FTA'd a second time in front of Judge Richardson. And considering all of those circumstances, a $1,500 surety bond is more than reasonable. In my opinion, is rather lenient. And I was asked that she's remained in custody and she posts said bond. Again, we already set aside one bench warrant. Now we're going to do it again. And that doesn't seem reasonable at all. She knew to change her address.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna give everybody the opportunity. Mr. Walker, do you have in front of you, can you run down?
Yes, so she had a plea and arraignment in front of Judge.
Who lifted the bench warrants previously also?
So she had, well, you know, this was back in.
Please talk.
This was back in
Ms. West,
September.
I will speak on your behalf.
This was back in September 2020. So as you know, the procedure used to be slightly different back then. If you had a bench warrant, all you had to do, if it was your first bench warrant, all you had to do was walk into the clerk's office and do an address change, and they would sit aside for you. So that's what I'm referring to. So that bench warrant was set aside. She got another court date. She FTA'd on, and that's the bench warrant that we're here for.
And when was that other court date?
The first one or the one that we're here for now?
May the 25th.
The first court date was, let me see. The first time she did her address change was back in 2020.
Exactly.
She.
The first court date, Judge.
When the court's ready, I have
Okay, and from
responses to
Mr.
Walker's
Jordan.
allegations.
Okay, and from Mr. Jordan said that Judge Richardson did not issue a bench warrant for the first FTA. So he did not issue a bench warrant for the first FTA. He issued a warrant for the second FTA. So, but nonetheless, she's changed her address before. She now lives out of state. She's been given an opportunity by Judge Richardson himself by not issuing a bench warrant for the first FTA. She has since moved out of state and FTA'd a second time. So that's the procedural posture of this case. And we feel as though because Judge Richardson was gracious enough not to give her a bench warrant the first time, the second time, I think a $1,500 surety bond is more than reasonable.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Bronstein.
Yes, Your Honor. As the state just said, they made incorrect statements to the court. They were trying to argue that the court should not set aside this bench warrant because she has already had one set aside by a judge. That is clearly not the case. And she did update, she said that the original one was where the address was incorrect. She updated that in person. She thought she needed to update the address in person. She didn't intend on having to stay in Michigan, but she is here now. Also, Ms. Killings did send me a message that she is not able to see or hear what's going on. So I don't know. I told her she might need to log into audio if the court has any other suggestions.
And who is that you're speaking of?
The complaining witness in this case, I spoke to her and she told me that she does not want Ms. West to have a warrant for this case. So if the court wants to hear from her, she's here. I see her, Antonisha Killings, but she sent me a message saying she couldn't see or hear anyone.
Okay, so I don't really know how she can add to this because this is just really whether Ms. West is going to show up and whether she's not going to show up and what in the procedural history. So whether she wants her not to have a bench warrant or not, I don't know how that's here nor there. I don't have. All right, anything further from anyone?
All I would say is what's not correct is that she's FTA twice on this case, and she had an opportunity the first time when Judge Richardson decided not to give a bench warrant, and she FTA yet again and moved out of state. So I would ask that the $1,500 surety bond remains in place.
And I would just like to add that this is the first time we're asking for a bench warrant set aside. We're asking that the court set aside the warrant due to Ms. West, as soon as she found out about this, swiftly trying to deal with it rather than just run.
Okay.
I have representation.
So she did show up. She did, once she found out that she had a bench warrant, she did try to do something, which many people don't try to do. So this is your last opportunity, Ms. West, okay? All right, so if you won't get another chance if you meant for whatever the excuse or the reasoning is, this will be the final time. If you are called to court one more time and you don't show up, then the bench warrant won't be lifted. In this case, I'm going to set aside that bench warrant and give you one further opportunity, only because you have been coming in and once you found out, trying to do the right thing. So I will set it aside this one time. Okay, one final time. All right, we understand each other, Ms. West?
Yes, sir. But can I say something, please?
No.
You have a right to remain silent. You've gotten what you wanted today. So I would suggest that you remain silent and let Ms. Bronstein represent you. All right, so that'll conclude this matter. Anything further?
Your Honor, does the court do that order or would I write that order? Sorry, I'm not here very often.
You'll have to do that for the court, Ms. Bronstein.
And then who would I send it to?
You're going to send it to Ms. Grace, Melissa Grace.
Melissa Grace?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. You all have a good day. We'll see you next time. Unless there's anything further before the court.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you, Judge.